The train screeched into the station with a metallic roar, filling the air with smoke and the impatient shuffle of footsteps. Vendors shouted over the noise, selling tea and snacks to weary passengers, while coolies rushed with heavy bags on their heads. Amid the chaos stood a young man with a worn-out suitcase, his clothes simple, his shoes dusty, and his face pale from exhaustion. His name was Imran. At just 22, Imran had left his small village with dreams bigger than the mountains that surrounded it. His father was a farmer, his mother a housewife, and their lives were always a battle against poverty. When Imran passed his intermediate exams, the entire family had celebrated, believing he would be the one to change their fate. With the little savings his parents managed to collect, they sent him to the big city in hopes of finding a good job. But life in the city was harsher than anything he had imagined. For weeks, he had knocked on office doors, filled out applications, and attended interviews, only to be rejected again and again. Some said he lacked experience, others demanded bribes he could not pay. His savings drained away quickly, first on rent for a tiny shared room, then on food, and finally, even bus fares became a luxury. Now, standing at the train station with only a few coins in his pocket, Imran felt like a failure. The suitcase at his feet was nearly empty, just a few clothes, and his certificates, now creased and losing their shine. His dreams of becoming a respectable man in the city seemed to vanish like smoke in the evening air. He sat on a wooden bench, his shoulders slumped, watching people hurry past him. Families reunited with hugs, businessmen rushed with briefcases, children laughed as they tugged at their parents' hands. Everyone seemed to belong somewhere. Everyone had a place to go. Everyone except him. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since the previous morning. The coins in his pocket could barely buy him a cup of tea, let alone a meal. He pressed his hand against his belly, fighting back the sting of tears. How will I face my parents? They trusted me. They gave me everything they had. And I failed them. As the evening grew darker, the station grew quieter. People left one by one, but Imran remained. He opened his suitcase and pulled out his certificates, staring at them under the dim light of a flickering bulb. Once, these papers had been his pride. Now, they mocked him. What was the use of education when no one gave him a chance? Are you all right, young man? The voice startled him. Imran looked up to see an older gentleman standing nearby. He wore simple clothes, but his posture was straight and his eyes were sharp yet kind. He carried a cloth bag on his shoulder and a thermos of tea in his hand. Imran quickly wiped his eyes and forced a smile. I'm fine, uncle. Just waiting. The man studied him for a moment, then sat down beside him. Waiting? Or hiding from the world? Imran's throat tightened. He didn't know why, but those words pierced him deeply. For a moment, he wanted to remain silent, but the kindness in the man's eyes made it impossible. I came here for a job, Imran admitted quietly. I wanted to support my family. But it didn't work out. I don't even have enough money to eat now. The man nodded slowly, as if he had heard this story many times before. Without a word, he unscrewed his thermos and poured tea into a small steel cup, handing it to Imran. Then he pulled out 2 pieces of bread wrapped in paper from his bag. Eat, he said simply. You can talk after. Imran hesitated, pride and shame wrestling inside him. But his hunger won. He accepted the bread with trembling hands and took a bite. It was simple, just dry bread, but to him, it tasted like the richest feast in the world. He swallowed quickly, afraid his tears would fall into the food. "Thank you," he whispered. "You don't even know me. Why would you help me?" The man sipped his tea calmly. "Because I was once like you. Lost, hungry, and hopeless. Someone helped me then. If they hadn't, I wouldn't be here today. And now, it is my duty to do the same." Imran stared at him, his heart pounding. Could a stranger's kindness really change someone's life? The man extended his hand. "My name is Khalid. I run a small workshop nearby. It's nothing fancy, but I need someone young and hardworking. You look like you could use a chance." Imran's breath caught. You're offering me work." Khalid smiled. "I'm offering you a beginning. Whether it becomes work or something bigger depends on you." For a moment, Imran couldn't speak. His whole body trembled with relief, disbelief, and gratitude. He shook Khalid's hand firmly, tears finally spilling from his eyes. That night, under the station's flickering lights, Imran realized something he would never forget. Sometimes, when the world turns its back on you, a stranger's helping hand can become the bridge to hope. The following morning, Imran followed Khalid through the narrow streets of the old city. The air was thick with the smell of fried snacks from street vendors, mixed with the smoke of rickshaws sputtering past. Khalid walked with steady steps, greeting shopkeepers along the way. Everyone seemed to know him and respect him. Finally, they stopped in front of a modest workshop. The signboard above the door read, "Khalid and Sons, Carpentry and Repairs." The place was simple but alive. Wooden planks leaned against the walls, sawdust covered the floor, and the scent of freshly cut wood filled the air. Inside, two young men were already at work, hammering nails into a half-finished table. They paused and looked curiously at Imran. "This is Imran," Khalid introduced. "He will be helping us from today. Treat him like a brother." The men nodded. One of them, a tall, broad-shouldered fellow named Rashid, grinned. "Welcome, brother. Hope you are not afraid of a little hard work." Imran smiled nervously. "Hard work is all I have to give." Khalid placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "That's all I ask." The first few days were difficult. Imran's hands, soft from books and writing, quickly blistered from carrying planks and swinging hammers. His back ached at night, and the smell of varnish made his head spin. More than once, he thought of quitting. But each time, he remembered the bread Khalid had shared at the station, the kindness in his eyes, and the chance he had been given. Slowly, he began to adjust. His muscles grew stronger, his grip steadier. Rashid taught him how to sand wood until it shone like glass. Another worker, Samir, showed him how to measure with precision, reminding him that even a millimeter's mistake could ruin a whole piece. Imran listened carefully, eager to learn. Khalid, meanwhile, observed quietly. He never raised his voice, never belittled mistakes. When Imran accidentally split a wooden plank, expecting anger, Khalid only said, "Mistakes are teachers too, if you are willing to learn from them." Those words sunk deep into Imran's heart. Weeks passed, and Imran began to feel at home in the workshop. His earnings were small, but enough for food and a shared bed in a workers' hostel. More importantly, he felt dignity returning to his life. Each evening, as he washed the sawdust from his hair, he thought of his parents. One day, I'll send money home. One day, I'll prove their sacrifice was worth it. But life, as always, tested him. One evening, after a long day's work, Rashid handed Imran his wages. Imran stared at the small bundle of notes in disbelief. For the first time since leaving his village, he held money earned by his own hands. He tucked it carefully into his pocket, whispering a prayer of thanks. As he left the workshop, a group of boys blocked his path in the alley. They were rough-looking, with cruel smiles. One of them, their leader, sneered. "Hey, new boy! We've seen you working here. Must be making money now, huh?" Imran froze. "I don't want trouble." "Then give us what's in your pocket," the leader demanded, stepping closer. Imran's heart raced. His wages, the proof of his hard work, were in that pocket. He couldn't lose them. Summoning courage, he shook his head. "This is mine. I earned it." The boys laughed mockingly. One shoved him against the wall. Just as fear threatened to overwhelm him, a strong voice echoed from behind. "Leave him." It was Khalid. His eyes blazed with authority. The boys shifted uncomfortably under his gaze. "Uncle, we were just stealing from a hard-working man." Khalid cut in sharply. "Shame on you. I know your families. If I see you near my workshop again, you'll answer to them." The boys muttered curses but scattered quickly. Imran's legs trembled as Khalid helped him up. "Are you hurt?" "No, uncle," Imran said, his voice shaking. "But I almost lost everything." Khalid looked at him firmly. "Remember this, Imran. In life, people will try to steal more than just your money. They'll try to steal your courage, your hope. Never give it to them. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does." Imran nodded, his heart pounding with respect. That night, lying in his narrow hostel bed, he thought about Khalid's words. He realized that a stranger's hand had not only given him food and work but was now guiding him with wisdom he desperately needed. Months rolled into a year. Imran grew into his role at the workshop, no longer the weak boy from the train station but a confident young man with calloused hands and steady resolve. Customers began to notice his dedication, and some even asked specifically for him. But beneath his quiet pride, he carried a growing dream: to save enough money to bring his parents to the city, to give them comfort in their old age. Each time he sent a small portion of his wages back to the village, he imagined his mother's smile and his father's relief. Khalid noticed his determination and often said, "You remind me of myself when I was young. Life gave me nothing for free, but it gave me chances. And chances, my boy, are more valuable than gold." Imran would smile, silently promising himself never to waste the chance he had been given. Yet fate was not done testing him. For soon, a storm was coming, one that would shake not just his life, but Khalid's as well. The workshop had become Imran's second home. Sawdust in his hair, the hum of tools, the laughter of Rashid and Samir, it all felt like the rhythm of a new life. Khalid, though strict at times, was like a father figure, teaching lessons beyond carpentry, patience, honesty, and dignity. But one evening, just as they were closing the shop, Khalid leaned heavily against the workbench. His face turned pale, beads of sweat gathering on his forehead. "Uncle!" Imran rushed to him. "Are you all right?" Khalid tried to wave it off. "Just a little tired. It will pass." Yet his body told another story. His hands trembled, and his breath came short. Rashid and Samir quickly fetched water, but Imran's instincts screamed this was more than fatigue. "Rashid, call for a rickshaw." Imran ordered. We are taking him to the hospital. Hours later, under the harsh fluorescent lights of the emergency ward, the truth came out. Khalid had been hiding a heart condition for years. The doctor's words were grave. He needs treatment immediately. Rest is essential. He cannot continue the physical strain of carpentry. The workshop, the family's only source of income, suddenly stood on the edge of collapse. Khalid's sons, Rashid and Samir, were capable workers, but neither had the leadership or steady hand their father provided. Fear clouded their faces. What will we do? Samir whispered. Without Abba, customers won't trust us. We'll lose everything. Imran listened, his heart pounding. He remembered his first night at the train station, hungry and hopeless, and how Khalid had extended a hand when no one else had. Now, that same hand needed him. He stepped forward. We won't lose it. I'll take responsibility. Rashid looked at him in disbelief. You've only been here a year. I know, Imran admitted. But Khalid trusted me when I had nothing. If I don't stand for him now, then what have I learned from his kindness? Khalid, lying weakly on the hospital bed, opened his eyes and managed a faint smile. Imran, I believe in you. Don't let the fire die in that workshop. Keep it alive. Those words burned into Imran's soul. The next morning, Imran opened the shop doors alone. His heart hammered as customers trickled in, some skeptical, some curious. When one man frowned and said, "Where's Khalid?" "I don't trust new boys with my furniture," Imran stood tall. "Sir," he said, steady and firm, "Khalid taught me himself. He trusted me with his work, and I promise I will give you the same quality, with my blood and sweat if I must." The man hesitated, then finally left his chair for repair. That evening, Imran worked late into the night, sanding, polishing, measuring again and again until his back ached. He refused to let any flaw remain. When the customer returned 2 days later, his eyes widened in surprise. "This is perfect," he admitted. "Just like Khalid's work." Word began to spread. Imran's determination, combined with Rashid and Samir's efforts, slowly convinced people that the workshop's fire was still alive. Customers returned, not just for the work, but for the spirit of honesty and dedication that Khalid had instilled and Imran now carried forward. Yet, challenges came like waves. A rival carpenter across town spread rumors, "Khalid's shop is finished. A stranger is running it now. Don't waste your money there." Some customers wavered, but Imran refused to bow. Instead, he doubled his effort, delivering orders earlier than promised, ensuring every piece shone with perfection. Slowly, the lies died under the weight of his work's truth. One night, as he walked back to his hostel, exhaustion dragging at his body, he looked up at the sky. Stars blinked faintly over the city's hatch. He thought of his parents, his village, and Khalid resting in the hospital. "I will not fail," he whispered to the stars. Not this time. Weeks passed. Khalid's health improved slowly, but he remained confined to rest. He visited the shop occasionally, watching silently as Imran explained designs to customers, guided Rashid and Samir, and checked every detail of the work. One evening, Khalid called Imran aside. His eyes glistened with pride. "You've done more than save this shop," he said. "You've saved my honor. My sons will carry the work forward, but you, Imran, you are the reason they still have something to carry." Imran bowed his head, emotion tightening his throat. I only did what you did for me, uncle. You gave me a hand when I had nothing. How could I not give mine back when you needed it? Khalid placed a trembling hand on his shoulder. You are no longer just a worker here, Imran. You are family. That night, as Imran lay in bed, he thought of the boy who had once sat hopelessly at the train station, staring at his empty suitcase. Now, that boy had become a man others relied on. He realized something profound. A stranger's helping hand had not just lifted him from hunger, it had taught him how to lift others. But fate still had one more lesson in store. A final test of whether he could truly stand as strong as the man who once saved him. 2 years passed since that night at the train station when Khalid had first extended his hand to a hungry stranger. The workshop was thriving again, its shelves lined with polished furniture, its doors always open to customers who trusted its name. Imran had changed. His shoulders were broader, his hands calloused and skilled, his eyes steady with quiet confidence. He was no longer the boy who trembled at rejection. He had become a man who carried responsibility like armor. Khalid, though older and weaker now, often sat in a chair at the workshop, smiling as he watched his sons and Imran working together. He would tell customers proudly, "This boy is no outsider. He is my third son." Those words warmed Imran's heart every time. Yet, he never forgot his true beginnings. The memory of hunger, despair, and that flickering station light stayed with him like a scar. One rainy evening, as Imran was closing the shop, he heard faint sobs near the corner of the street. Curious, he followed the sound and saw a boy, no older than 15, sitting under a broken shelter. His clothes were drenched, his face pale, his eyes red from crying. Beside him lay a small bag, half torn, and nothing else. Imran's chest tightened. The sight was painfully familiar. He approached slowly. "Are you all right, son?" The boy flinched but didn't look up. "I'm fine. Leave me alone." Imran crouched down. "You don't look fine. Where's your family?" The boy bit his lip, fighting tears. "Back in the village. I came here for work, but nobody wanted me. They all said I'm too young, too inexperienced. Now I have no money left. I haven't eaten since yesterday." Imran's throat tightened. Every word echoed his own past. For a moment, he saw himself again on that cold night, hungry, hopeless, convinced he was worthless. Without hesitation, Imran pulled a packet of bread from his bag and handed it over. "Eat first. We'll talk after." The boy hesitated, pride and shame warring on his face, but hunger won. He grabbed the bread and devoured it. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he ate. Why are you helping me?" he asked through sobs. Imran smiled gently. "Because someone once helped me when I was exactly where you are now. And he taught me never to let another soul suffer if I can prevent it." The boy looked at him, confused yet hopeful. "What's your name?" Imran asked. "Salman," the boy whispered. "Well, Salman," Imran said, standing tall, "if you are willing to work hard, I'll give you a chance. My workshop always has space for hands that are honest and hungry to learn." Salman's eyes widened. "You mean I can work with you?" Imran nodded. "Yes. But remember, it won't be easy. Your hands will blister, your back will ache, and there will be days you'll want to quit. But if you stay, you'll find more than just work. You'll find dignity." Salman burst into tears, clutching Imran's hand tightly. Thank you, bhai. I won't let you down. The next morning, Salman joined the workshop. His first tasks were small, sweeping sawdust, fetching tools, but his eyes shone with determination. Rashid and Sameer teased him at first, but Imran only smiled, remembering his own clumsy beginnings. Whenever Salman grew frustrated, Imran would place a steady hand on his shoulder and repeat Khalid's words, "Mistakes are teachers too, if you are willing to learn from them." Slowly, the boy began to grow. And with every step, Imran saw his own reflection, how far he had come, and how far he still wanted to go. One evening, Khalid called Imran aside. His voice was weaker now, but his smile was strong. "I saw what you did for that boy," Khalid said. "You gave him the same hand I once gave you." Imran's eyes grew moist. "How could I not, uncle? Without you, I would have been lost. You taught me what kindness can do." Khalid nodded, his gaze shining with pride. "And now you are teaching the same lesson to others. This is how goodness survives, when we pass it on." Imran bowed his head, whispering, "I'll never stop, uncle. As long as I live, I'll keep giving the hand I once received." Months later, the workshop sign was repainted. Beneath the original name, new words were added at Khalid's insistence. "Khalid and Sons, and a stranger's helping hand." When customers asked about the unusual line, Imran would tell them the story of a lost boy at a train station, a kind stranger who offered bread and hope, and how that single moment had changed everything. And so, the lesson lived on, not just in furniture crafted with care, but in lives rebuilt through compassion. Moral: sometimes, the smallest gesture, a piece of bread, a kind word, an open hand can change the entire direction of someone's life. Kindness does not end with the giver, it multiplies, passing from one soul to another until the world becomes brighter. If you want more interesting stories, then subscribe the channel and like the video, click on the bell icon.